Welcome to Decluttering 55 Plus with Michelle Passoff. This is the place to come for news you can use to get things done. Everybody knows that too much stuff is clutter, and cleaning it makes you neater and tidier. To us, it is a life management tool that helps you navigate your next steps. This is what my book, Lighten Up, Free Yourself from Clutter, is all about. As baby boomers, we have a lot in front of us that is confounding and confronting, so we sweep things under the carpet and put them off another day or forever. That is clutter because it keeps us stuck, and my new book addresses all of that. So we're going to bring experts, authors, and authorities here to talk with us about health, relationships, technology, finance, housing. What are you going to do next in life? Passing down your life stories, and even the challenges of making final arrangements. Here we aim to learn, open new possibilities, choose, take action, and create a legacy, not a mess. So let's get started. Even in the age of digital everything, there's still the need to file some papers. Today, I'm going to chat about that with my esteemed guest and good friend, Ann Cueva. Ann has long been the owner of Custom Organizing. She's the author of the book, Grief Without Chaos, Organization for Emergencies and Death, which is about getting all kinds of documents in order just in case. She's a certified paper tiger expert and a productive environment expert. She has also been certified as a Before I Go solutions facilitator. Lots of credentials there, Ann. As some of you already know, like Ann, I'm a clutter consultant and author of the book, Lighten Up, Free Yourself from Clutter. Ann has one system of filing papers and I have another. So even though we have differing systems, our objectives are the same. Get your hands on what you need when you need it without skipping a beat. Life doesn't have to stop just because you need to get your hands on an important document. So let's talk about that today with Ann. Welcome, Ann Cueva.
Oh, thank you. I am so happy to be here. And I know that paperwork is not everyone's favorite subject to talk about, but I think between the two of us, and we have good tips that will help people be able to tackle that. And like you said, it's what good is any piece of paper you have if you can't find it. So that's our goal.
I know that you make a promise of being able to get your hands on what you need when you need it even faster than I do. I say if you're more than 3 steps away from your piece of paper, you don't have it. Now you say you can get your hands on your paper faster. Is that right?
Right. And that's because mine is a program that is on the computer. And so it's just it's a filing. We call it a finding system instead of a filing system.
A finding system. Well, that's
a finding
encouraging.
system.
So why don't we take our time and go step by step through your system of filing papers, and see how that works, and give a really concise description so people can take the time, of course, to jot that down. You guys out there, get your papers and pens so you could see now how it's filed. If you can't take it all down while we're in this conversation, and do you have this information somewhere people can reclaim it after this conversation?
Yes, I do. They can go visit my website, which is timeisthekey.com.
That's www.timeisthekey.com. So listen in, see how Ann files, and if you miss anything, you can go to our website and catch up. So we're going to put up some graphics as we go along too. Hopefully that will help. So go at it. Tell us your system.
All right, I will. It's called Taming the Paper Tiger, and I have been using this software for almost 20 years. It is the easiest and best and least inexpensive tool that I have ever used to find paperwork. And their guarantee is that once you've entered your data, you can find what you're looking for in 5 seconds or less.
5 seconds or less. Okay, folks, this is a This has turned into a competition, Ann. I say 3 steps. So if you can't find your paper in 3 steps, now if you can go 3 steps in 5 seconds, then I've beat you. But go ahead, keep going.
Yes, one thing I love about that is, again, the main goal is that you can find that piece of paper. So being able to find it in 3 steps is pretty good.
Okay,
I like
one
that.
way or the other.
I do like your system. So
piles on the top of your desk is not the system, right?
Oh, no, 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 no. Matter of fact, one thing, what I love about when I would go into offices and help people with their paperwork, I tell people, they say, oh, I'm going to clean up before you come. And I say, no, you don't have to do that, because as we file the papers, we're going to do our sorting at the same time. We use the acronym of FAT for file, act, or toss. Those are the only three questions you need to ask yourself on a piece of paper. Otherwise, we get hung up on the emotional side of it, because paperwork, let's face it, it's boring and it's very emotional, and it makes us face things sometimes we don't want to face. So if you can remember, when you pick up a piece of paper, do I file this? Do I act on it? Or can I toss it? And on the toss question, which is what people they get hung up with paperwork, is if I throw this piece of paper away today and I need it tomorrow, does someone else have it? So that will help people do that. But how it works is,
the day and age of backups.
So yes, or let's say the bank, say your bank statements. People, they'll file their bank statements, and if they decide they don't want to get the paper anymore, the bank will have that copy of that bank statement. So that's something you don't really need to keep. Okay. So, but anyway, what you do is it's a numbering system, which just throws everybody for a loop until when they make about 10 entries and I have them do a search for a paper, something we've already filed, then the light bulb goes on. Now, the beauty of this system is you don't have to file alphabetically. So, because what happens is when you do a search for, let's say, your automobile. Now, when people file for their things for their car, they can file it under car, automobile, the Lexus, the dealer name. There's 5 different ways you can name an automobile. Well, being the human beings that we are, 3 months ago, we may have put our information under the title car. 3 months later, we come and we're looking for our car under the Lexus. We're looking for what it is. I go, I know I had this file. Oh, well, I'll start another one. Then you end up with 3 or 4 different files for the same document, and it just becomes a mess. Well, Paper Tiger will stop you when you do a search. It will tell you, wait a minute, you already have a file name for this. So that stops the repeating of making files.
So are you talking about this numbering system? Are you talking a place where you're going to put your physical files and then there's a relationship with an online component, or is it all online?
Right, it's all online. But no, you do have a physical filing system. And I believe there was a slide it'll show you, instead of tabs on a file folder like we have, or a hanging file folder, it says like we have reference files. And those are the files you're going to keep to refer back to. So it's the reference 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so on. And so let's just say, for example, because you don't have to remember any numbers. The number is what the beauty of it is. If I need something, okay, let's say I have 80 files. Reference 80 files, and I want my information on my car. Well, I can just type in car, and in 5 seconds or less, it'll pop up and tell me that it's in reference number 7.
I see. So you have a paper, you have hanging files and tabs in a physical folder, and you have it numerically in order from 1 to 80. And
correct.
How do you know where to put your car file?
That's the computer will tell you. Like when you go to start a new file, you click on new and it comes up and it tells you the next available number. You don't have to go.
So it's going to be in relationship with your computer, and on your computer you have, what program is it? What is that?
It's Taming the Paper Tiger.
So you go to the Paper Tiger. Taming the Paper Tiger file. And when you go to that website, what's going to happen next?
Okay, actually the website is going to be thepapertiger.com. Okay. And then it will give you all the information there. It's very inexpensive. You can download it instantly. And it not only does your physical filing, but also your digital as well. They have a digital Tiger that is so you can scan a PDF, and it works in relation with Google Drive. And
that's convenient. It'll tell you what reference number to put that physical paper in your physical file. And then to go retrieve it, you'd go to your computer and kind of do the Paper Tiger, whatever the equivalent of search is in the Paper Tiger for car, and it will tell you which reference number to retrieve that paper from. Is that
absolutely, yes. Yes, and another feature I absolutely love about this is, as you're creating your filing system, in the upper right corner, I would write R-7. And that tells me, so let's say I pull my car papers out and I'm talking to someone. I don't have to go back into my computer to find out where I put it back. I just look in that corner, it says R7, and we drop it back in R7. The best feature, I think, though, is that you get a printed file index that comes out in alphabetical order. And I tell people the only time you really need to use this is if say you shut your computer down for the night and you need something, late in the night or early in the morning, or if your Wi-Fi isn't working and you can't get on the computer, you have a printed alphabetical filing system that will tell you what number your papers are in.
And what is the relationship between, so you have your reference numbers and your physical papers are in those files. Then you have a way to search for which file it's in on your computer. You have the printed out version, which is a backup to the electronic version should anything happen to your computer. Now, how does that all relate to your digital files?
Okay, and that's another great question, because people want to go paperless. So as long as you can scan and scan it as a PDF, it goes right into Google Docs. Now, let's say you have a scanned document on your car and also a physical. Well, wherever you do a search, it'll show up. This document is in both places. It'll tell you both places.
That's really convenient.
Yes. And the best part is it takes away the sorting, because a lot of times what we do when we do our paperwork, we'll go in and we'll make our piles and we think, okay, good, I did it, but we didn't file anything. And if we do file it, you have to, like I said, there might be 3 or 4 files that you are looking for that document on the car. And without doubt, it's going to be, you're going to pull it's called automobile. And it's not going to be in there. And you're going to go, I know I filed that. And then the frustration begins. And I say, let's remove all that. We don't need to have all this stuff in there. And then another feature I like about Paper Tiger is that also you can list your tangible items, such as your key to your safe deposit box. You can put that in there. That's located in the drawer.
Okay.
In the kitchen. So that's
so it doesn't have to only be physical paper files.
No, I've done
what else besides like your safe deposit key? What other things would you have in the non-physical files indicated in that program? What other kinds of things?
And one thing that I know that probably saved my marriage, we had this wrought iron design that goes on the wall, and it had special screws that go with it.
Oh.
Well, right. And so where are you going to put those? And so I put them in a baggie, and I put where I had them in the garage. And so when something happened to our artwork that we had, and we needed to have those screws,
you knew exactly where to go to get it.
I just went into the computer and I put screws, because I knew that was part of the keywords that I had put in, and it told me right where it was. And my husband just looked at me and he goes, unbelievable. He goes, I'm sold on this now.
Saved your marriage. You got married a second time to the same man. So if you want to learn, so I know Paper Tiger filing has been around for ages, so it has to be working for a lot of people. And Ann is a specialist in this kind of filing system. And if you want to know more, you can go to papertiger.com.
ThePaperTiger.com.
ThePaperTiger.com. You could shoot a note to Ann on her website, which is timeisthekey.com. And that's Ann without an E or an A. It's Ann Cueva, Cueva.
That's correct.
Got it.
Yes.
And her website is Time is the Key. So the Paper Tiger filing system is one system. I have a different paper filing system that's more based on a type of format that you would use when you you learned how to do a term paper outline when you're in about the 5th grade, where you have main topics, subtopics, and subtopics. My filing system, everybody will love to know, starts out with going shopping. So you want to go to the store and get your hanging files, and you get tabs and inserts to the tabs, and then manila folders. There's file folders and manila files. The manila files, I like to use straight-edged files, because then you don't have tabs that go irregularly into the file folders. I like it to be streamlined, and you're going to buy the file folder sticky labels that go onto the file folders. So you have plastic tabs that go on the hanging folders, and you have sticky tags that go onto the folders. And you're going to start to separate your papers in 3 ways. Make a pile of your financial papers, a pile of your personal papers, and a pile of professional papers. If you're 55 and plus and you're moving out of a profession, you may have projects. You may have a volunteer project. You may have a traveling folder. You may have, maybe you have grandkids and you have a family folder. Whatever the interests and projects you're engaged in as you age, that's fine. But mostly if it's going to go into, maybe you skip the professional file and you just have financial and personal, let's say draws or sections. And that would, each project would get a center tab to the hanging file folder. And let's say it's volunteer projects, right? Let's say that's your center tab. Then you're on the left-hand side, the hanging folders behind that center position would be which volunteer projects. Maybe you volunteer for the National Park Service. So you'd have a hanging folder flush left with National Park Service. Then maybe you also volunteer for the Lifelong Learning Center, and that could have another hanging file folder behind that. And then within those hanging file folders, you would have manila folders that maybe go more specifically. If you're, volunteering for the National Park Service and you're planning their July 4th celebration, you might have a folder just for July 4th. Or if you're thinking about renting an RV in Yosemite Park for the next summer, all the references to that would go behind it. So it becomes like a term paper outline, main topics, subtopics, subtopics. And why I say it takes more than 3 steps is if you need a financial paper, it's going to be in that drawer. If it's like a project or an interest, it's in a personal project, it's in a different drawer. So that's your first step. Then your subtitle is going to be the next step, National Park Service. Then the event is, the July 4th celebration. And then 3 steps, you're there. So the important thing, I think, is to get the supplies you need. Even you need supplies, right, Ann? You need to get
absolutely
those file folders and those reference, so you can put the reference numbers. And in my case, the labeling the way I do it. If you want to find out more about the way I file, you can get my book, Lighten Up, Free Yourself from Clutter. And I not only have a step-by-step indication of how you create a file that way, but there's even an illustration. We're going to throw up some illustrations on this talk as well. So the importance of, even you might say in the digital age, you don't need paper files anymore, but there are some papers that you do need to file. And tell us about some of those papers you do need physical evidence of. Ann, can you tell us about that?
Yes, well, definitely your vital documents, such as your birth certificate, your marriage license. You need a will and a trust, or your end of life planning papers that you need. You need to have everything together. And I love the way with it, like what you talked about too. It's categorically, and it's so simple the way your system is set up. And I love that because it takes all the alphabetical side of it out, where you have to make a file all the time, make a file. So
alphabetical is actually not the way to go, either in your system or in my system. But in your book, Grief Without Chaos, let's just pay homage to that. Grief Without Chaos, Organization for Emergencies and Death. Can you tell us what that is? Like, it's a book where you have, that's not a file, that's a book, right? You put all this information indicated in a book. And tell us, so all that information, that if something happens to you where you become incapacitated, or if you die, people who are close to you, who are going to pick up where you left off, need to get their hands on all those important documents. And
exactly,
that book,
yes.
Not only can you buy the book, because a lot of times people will go to timeiskey.com. They can get the book there. They can go to Amazon and get the book. great.
Yes,
You got the
correct.
book, but guess what? You got to fill it out. Oh, well.
That's right. Yes.
You have a support group that will help people stay on track with actually getting that done, and getting things done is what this is all about. So tell me a little bit about the support group, and then we got to hop because we got to go out there and get busy.
Exactly. I know it goes so fast, but yes, I have. What I want is to have all your vital information in one place, and so it's a workbook, Grief Without Chaos, and those are the vital documents that we're talking about. Are your will, your living trust, a DNR, which is Do Not Resuscitate. Have all your information. I always say, let this book speak for you if you are unable to speak, either through your death and you're gone, or if you're incapacitated.
In order to fill it out, Ann, you give a support group that helps people do
yes,
that. Tell us about that, and where people can go to get the book and get in that support group.
Yes, thank you, because that's an important step to do. You can go to my website, which again is timeisthekey.com, and we call the workshops Make a Plan While You Can. And they're the first 4 Mondays of every month, and we build motivation, inspiration, and we just say, just take these 4 Mondays in this week to get this book completed, and then you're done. And then every year on your birthday, you update it and make the changes that have taken place through the year. And the end result is you've not only given yourself a gift, but a gift for your family as well. So I've removed the chaos out of grieving, and because I've been through that myself. So I strongly urge you to do that. And once you complete and get those papers in order, you'll be so glad you did.
So the big message today is, as much try as we might, we still will have papers in our life. And whether you use the Paper Tiger system or you use the Lighten Up for yourself for clutter system, the idea is to get your hands, or you write things in the book that Ann wrote. You want to get your hands on what you need when you need it. So the idea is do something to get in action.
That's right. Exactly.
Start and don't stop until all those papers you need are at your fingertips or in the garbage. And
quit drowning in all that paper.
No more than a couple of steps away. So if you need a detailed account of creating a file system the way that I described it again, go to Lighten Up for Yourself from Clutter. Get a copy of Ann's book, Grief Without Chaos, Organizing for Emergencies and Death. Both can be found at Amazon and other book-selling sites as well. So I want to thank you, Ann, for coming and motivating us to get our acts together. It makes
thank you for having me.
It's
life-changing.
You're not going to roll over and die. You're going to put a lot of people at peace.
That's exactly right. Yes. Thank you, Michelle.
Friend. Thanks for coming.
Sure.
Bye now. Well, that's all we have time for today. So let's wrap things up with a request that you go to our website, www.decluttering55plus.com, and click on the Let's Connect button. Share your thoughts, insights, and tell us the lessons you've learned. If you're facing challenges or celebrating triumphs on your decluttering journey, we want to hear from you. Connect with us on social media. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Let us know you're part of our community by rating and reviewing us from wherever you're listening from today. And don't forget, invite your friends and family, young and old, to tune in too. Let's include them in the conversation. The more, the merrier. Thanks for being with us today. And until next time, this is Decluttering 55 Plus with Michelle Passoff, wishing you a clutter-free day.